General Hospital spoilers tease that the once solid bond between Carly Spencer and Jason Morgan has begun to crack. Until recently, their relationship seemed bulletproof, an unspoken promise of loyalty and shared history. Carly, ever the fierce protector of her family, leaned on Jason's steadfast strength, trusting him implicitly. Jason, haunted by ghosts of past betrayals and blood-soaked debts, had vowed long ago never to allow Carly to endanger herself again. Now, Jason's solemn oath has taken on a new gravity. He insists he will never, under any circumstances, warn Carly about the perils of her burgeoning romance with Jack Brennan. He's determined to keep this discussion closed for good. Yet Carly, emboldened by her love for Jack, presses onward, convinced that her happiness lies in his arms. Their clandestine meetings under moonlit skies and hushed conversations in empty corridors paint a picture of two souls finding solace in one another. Carly's heart flutters at Jack's whispered promises, and she believes they can rewrite the rules of engagement that once defined their lives. Still, beneath her radiant facade, a storm is brewing, one that Jason has been quietly preparing for, gathering evidence in the shadows. Over the past weeks, Jason's instincts have led him down a dark rabbit hole of surveillance footage, intercepted messages, and clandestine inquiries. He's unraveled a truth that chills him to the bone. Jack Brennan has been manipulating Carly's daughter, Jocelyn Jacks, training her as an undercover operative for the clandestine World Security Bureau, WSB. With textbook precision, Brennan has honed Jocelyn's instincts, coaching her in covert operations, teaching her to read people, to infiltrate, to lie without flinching. For Jason, who has raised Danny and watched over Michael, the idea of an innocent young woman being groomed for espionage is unconscionable. The evidence Jason holds is irrefutable. Hidden recordings capture Brennan's gravelly voice in late-night sessions, instructing Jocelyn on tactical evasion and intelligence gathering. Photos show clandestine meetings in abandoned warehouses where Brennan drills her in hand-to-hand combat under flickering fluorescent lights. Financial records reveal large wire transfers to shell accounts, funds earmarked for Jocelyn's training, her mission, her indoctrination. Jason's heart clenches as he pieces it all together. The man Carly adores has been eroding the innocence of her child, molding her into someone she's not. Jason knows he must confront Carly to tear away the veil of trust she's cast over Jack Brennan. Yet he fears her reaction, her heart versus her maternal instincts, her love clashing with the need to protect her daughter. He arranges a meeting at the loft overlooking the docks, the city lights reflecting off the water like broken promises. Carly arrives, her eyes alight with affection as she reaches for Jason's hand. He meets her gaze, his expression grim, the weight of his discovery pressing down on him. "Carly," he begins, voice low and urgent. "I've found something. About Jack." In the silence that follows, he slides a tablet across the table. On the screen, the grainy footage plays. Jocelyn, tense and determined, responds to Brennan's instructions again. Faster. Her youthful face set in a hardened mask. Carly's breath catches. "What is this, Jason?" she whispers, her voice trembling. He flicks through bank statements. These transactions. Thousands wired to accounts linked to Brennan. He's been funding her training as a WSB operative. Carly recoils as if struck. He wouldn't do that. He did, Jason insists. He's been manipulating her, turning her into something she's not. For his own gain. Her mind races, memories of Jack offering to help Jocelyn with her research project, his comforting words when she felt lost, his subtle nudges toward more adventurous pursuits. Was it all a facade? Was her daughter collateral in a dangerous game? Carly's world tilts on its axis as the man she loves morphs into a villain before her eyes. But Brennan is not defenseless. He, too, has evidence that could jail Jocelyn for life. In a twisted countermeasure, Brennan discovered and preserved proof of Jocelyn's involvement in the death of Cyrus Renaud, evidence that, if released, would see her locked away for years. That night at Charlie's, Brennan confronted Jason, his steel blue eyes glinting with menace. "You think you've got me cornered?" he growled. "I've got her on tape. Killing Cyrus was her doing. One phone call from me to the DA, and Jocelyn's toast. Think again before you move." Jason's jaw clenches. "You'd use a child's mistake as leverage?" "Children make mistakes," Brennan snarls. "Adults pay the price." Now caught between two ticking time bombs, the safety of Jocelyn and the integrity of Carly's heart, Jason understands that words alone won't sever the toxic web Brennan has woven. This requires drastic action. And so, Jason whispers to Carly the plan he's formulated, a plan that relies on an ally she never would have expected, Sonny Corinthos. Sonny, kingpin of Port Charles's criminal underworld, is no stranger to crossing moral lines. He's committed murder to protect his own, most notoriously the killing of John Cates, burying bodies and erasing evidence as though they never existed. When Jason visits Sonny at the docks, a meeting under the neon glow of a solitary lamp, he lays out the grim scenario: Brennan's leveraging Jocelyn's crime, endangering an innocent girl, manipulating Carly's love. They need to neutralize him. Sonny listens, cigarette smoke curling around his scars. "He's playing with fire," he mutters. "I like it. But you want him dead?" Jason nods. "Tonight." Sonny flicks his cigarette into the darkness, a spark vanishing into the harbor's black expanse. "Consider it done." As the city slumbers, Jason and Sonny execute their plan with ruthless efficiency. Brennan, unaware of the trait woven into his own safety net, finds himself lured to an abandoned warehouse, under the guise of handing over evidence exonerating Jocelyn. Carly waits nearby, tears streaming down her face as she watches through binoculars, heart hammering at the thought of the showdown about to unfold. Jason stands beside her, silent vigil. Inside, Brennan strides in, confident, triumphant. He clutches a folder, his trump card against Jocelyn's future. But the shadows betray him. Sonny steps from the darkness, gun drawn. "Jack," he says, voice low. "Pack it up." Brennan's eyes widen. "What?" The first shot rings out. Jason covers Carly's ears. A second shot echoes. Brennan collapses, the folder fluttering to the concrete floor. Sonny approaches, checks the body, then nods to Jason. They're on the move. "Let's go." Together, they drag Brennan's lifeless form into the night, vanishing like ghosts. Carly sinks to her knees, trembling at the enormity of what she's witnessed, the finality of a love she'd cherished turned to ash. In the aftermath of Brennan's disappearance, Port Charles buzzes with rumors. A body, unclaimed and unidentified, has turned up near the riverbank. The local papers whisper about a mysterious death, but no one suspects the truth. Jack Brennan lies hidden beneath the restless currents, his legacy of manipulation silenced forever. Jason and Sonny have covered their tracks with professional precision, no prints, no witnesses, no trace linking them to the crime. It is, to all intents and purposes, a clean execution. Back at the loft, Carly remains shattered. She paces the open-plan living space as dawn's light filters through the floor-to-ceiling windows, painting the room in pale gold. Jason enters quietly, carrying 2 cups of coffee. He offers one to Carly, who accepts with a shaky hand. The scent of roasted beans mingles with her tears. She looks up at him, eyes hollow. "Is it over?" she asks, voice barely audible. Jason sits beside her, gently placing his hand over hers. "He's gone, Carly. He can't hurt Jocelyn anymore." The realization crashes over her like a tidal wave. Relief warps into guilt. You and Sonny," she chokes out. "You killed him." Jason's jaw tightens. It had to be done. His gaze drifts to the horizon, where the sun begins its ascent. He was never going to stop. He would have destroyed our family. Carly closes her eyes, memories flooding in. Jack's tender smile, the laughter he shared with Jocelyn on sunny afternoons, the promises he made. Were they genuine? Or were they just another layer of deception? She leans into Jason, seeking solace in his unwavering presence. Hours later, she finds herself at the gym, watching Jocelyn, now free from Brennan's manipulations, throw punches at a training bag. Her movements are fluid, powerful, but there's a softness in her eyes that wasn't there before. Jocelyn glances over, noting her mother's approach. They embrace, Carly inhaling her daughter's scent, overwhelmed by love and remorse. "I'm so sorry," Carly whispers. "I failed you." Jocelyn pulls back, eyes shining. "You didn't, Mom. Jason did what he had to do. He saved me." As the mother and daughter share a moment of healing, Carly's thoughts turn inward. She realizes that this near tragedy has opened a door to reconciliation with Jason, a path back to the bond they once shared. With renewed determination, she seeks him out at Kelly's, Jason's favorite haunt, where he often finds refuge in the early evening gloom. Jason sits at the bar, glass of whiskey in hand, staring into the amber depths. Carly slides onto the stool beside him. He turns, a guarded expression on his face. Without words, she reaches for his hand. The tremor in her fingers betrays her fear. He squeezes back, but remains silent, awaiting her words. "I want to thank you," she begins, voice earnest. "For Jocelyn, for me, for protecting my family." Jason's gaze softens, but remains vigilant. Carly continues, her tone growing more vulnerable. "I know I pushed you away, refused to see the danger. But you were right all along." She pauses, gathering courage. "I also want to help with Danny. I want him to know me, to see me as someone he can rely on. Let me be his mother." Jason's shoulders relax for the first time in days. He looks at Carly, really looks, at the strength etched into her features, at the tears still glistening in her eyes. Slowly, he nods. "Okay." Relief floods Carly, but she realizes there is more she must say. "Jason, I've always been weak for you. Strong, but you've always been the anchor. I want to be more than part of your life. I want to share your life." Her heart hammers as she searches his expression. "I want to be your wife." Time seems to stand still. The clink of glasses, the hum of Kelly's, fade into the background. Jason's eyes soften, a rare, vulnerable smile touching his lips. He reaches under the bar, pulling out a small velvet box, a gesture that mirrors her confession. Opening it, he reveals a simple, elegant ring, its facets catching the light like a promise. "I was going to ask you," he admits, voice thick with emotion. He slides the ring onto Carly's finger. "Will you marry me?" Carly gasps, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. She nods, unable to speak as she throws her arms around him. The bar erupts in muted applause from the few patrons who witness the moment. In that embrace, two souls torn apart by secrets and lies find their way back to each other, stronger and more determined than ever. As they stand entwined, the future stretches out before them, a tapestry of challenges and triumphs, of lost time to reclaim and new memories to forge. With Jocelyn's laughter echoing in the distance and Danny's hopeful eyes waiting for a mother's love, Carly and Jason step into a new chapter. Their love, tested by betrayal and darkness, emerges unbreakable, a beacon of hope in the stormy seas of Port Charles.